I'm actually a little bit upset. I choose to be upset. Excuse me. I just recorded this entire video, and apparently the audio wasn't working, so I had to scrap it all. It's fucking nice. Anyways, but in this video, you'll learn that mostly 80 to 90% of the things you do in your daily life aren't that beneficial, aren't that valuable. The unimportance of practically everything. Most of what exists in the universe, our actions and other forces, results, resources, have little value and yields little results. On the other hand, a few things work fantastically well and have tremendous effect. In George Orwell's classic allegorical novel, Animal Farm, we're introduced to the fictional character Boxer the Horse. He is described as faithful and strong. He's answered every setback and problem is, I will work harder. He lives true to his philosophy under the direct circumstances until, exhausted and broken, he is sent to the knacker's yard. He is a tragic figure. Despite his best intentions, his ever-increasing effort to actually exasperate the inequality and problems on the farm. Are there ways we are like Boxer? Do setbacks often strengthen our resolve to work harder and longer? Do we sometimes respond to every challenge with, yeah, I could take that on? After all, we have been taught from a young age that hard work is key to producing results. And many of us have been amply rewarded for our productivity and our ability to muscle through every task or challenge the world throws at us. Yet, for capable people who are already working hard, are there limits to the value of hard work? Is there a point at which doing more does not produce more? Is there a point at which doing less, but thinking more, produce exponentially more value? I remember when I was young, talking about the offer here, I wanted to earn some pocket money. One of the few jobs available for 12-year-olds in England was a paper route. Paid about £1 a day, and I had to go to the door themselves, door to door, and I had to force one of the, he said he had to force one of the papers through the mailbox. And the papers were like, what, 30, not 30. They were real heavy. It said here, he lifted a bag that was heavier than him. So he's a 12-year-old. Whoa, this bag must be like, what, 90, 100 pounds? The fuck? We had to take the paper all the way up through the letterbox in the door and then force the paper through. The effort I had to put in to earn that £1 a day changed forever how I thought about the cost of buying things I wanted. From then on, if I wanted to buy something, I would have to look at it from the viewpoint of, if I want this machine or this ice cream, it would take me 5 days. Then, as I started to think about how I might speed up the process, I had the insight that I could wash the neighbors' cars on Saturday mornings instead of delivering papers. I could charge £2 per car and clean 3 in an hour. Suddenly the ratio of hours to pounds changed from 1 to 1 to 1 to 6. I had learned a crucial reward. Lesson. Certain types of efforts yield higher rewards than others. Years later at university, I went to a coaching company. I worked in their customer service department for £9 an hour. It would have been easy to think of the jobs in terms of the ratio between time and reward, but I knew what really counted was the relationship between time and results. Time and rewards versus time and results. What do you think the difference is there? So I asked myself, what is the most valuable result I could achieve in this job? Turned out to be winning back customers who wanted to cancel. So I worked hard at convincing customers not to cancel as soon as I achieved a 0 rate of cancellation. Since I was paid for every client I retained, I learned more, earned more, and contributed more. Working hard is important. More effort does not necessarily yield more results. Less but better does. Getting used to the idea of less but better may prove harder than it sounds, especially when you have been rewarded in the past for doing more and more and more. Yet at a certain point, more effort causes our progress to plateau and even stall. It is true that the idea of a direct correlation between results and effort are appealing. Seems fair, you know? Same amount of effort results the same amount of results. Yeah, research across many fields paints a very different picture. Most have heard of the Pareto principle, the concept that 20% of our efforts yield 80% of the results. Just distinguishing the trivial many from the vital few can be applied to every kind of human endeavor, large or small, and has been done so by Richard Koch, author of several books on how to apply the Pareto principle 80-20 rule to everyday life. The top software developers are much more productive than the average software developers by 100,000 times more. Maybe an exaggeration, but it still makes the point that certain efforts produce exponentially better results than others. The overwhelming reality is we live in a world where almost everything is worthless and very few things are exceptionally valuable. We cannot overestimate the unimportance of almost everything. Right, that was chapter 3. So, think about this. The guy who thinks that his efforts results the exact same amount of results, like the guy who's working 60-hour weeks, full-time job, but he still works 40, 60 hours, different sides hit. He, for the amount of work and hours he's putting in, he should be like, essentially free. He's working so many hours, he's putting in so much effort, he should be free. But he's still broke. Somehow. This guy is working for 60 hours. Hours in a week. 64 hours in a week dedicated to this one job. And he's still broke. Why? Well, it's simple. The job he's working isn't that valuable. He could be replaced by anyone at any moment. He could be fired. Just like that, he could be fired. Someone else will come in for him. It's so simple. Jobs like that do not pay high because the value that they're putting in is so minimal. You want to find something that you know that once you do, will produce high levels of value and results. It was essentialism.